Hey guys, I just saw the new Spider-Man movie and was displeased to find out that there was no Tom Holland. Toby, Andrew, and Tom did not make a comeback as major roles in the movie. There's no Doctor Strange or setup for the next Avengers movie, and there's no after credit scene. Therefore, this movie sucks! I've been waiting for this movie before I even knew it existed. When I watched Into the Spider-Verse, I liked it. When I watched it the second time, I really liked it. And as time went on, my appreciation for the movie had grown more and more, as well as my love for Spider-Man as a whole. I loved Spider-Verse, but I didn't want it to end at one movie. There was so much more left to tell with this multiverse. So when Across the Spider-Verse was announced, I wanted it to be even better than Into the Spider-Verse, which in theory sounds crazy. The innovative new form of animation it brought to the table, its tight script and jokes, its overall polish, seems impossible to think that those could be surpassed. But as a beat-for-beat narrative, it's actually not too hard to top. The biggest thing holding back Into the Spider-Verse is simply the fact that it is the origin story. While it does that phenomenally, it still to some degree has to follow the classic hero's growth. Since it's only one movie, it can only go so far with its characters and multiverse as we're just being introduced to these things. But now with this older Miles who's been Spider-Man for quite a while, and the fact that we're very familiar with the Spider-Verse at this point, the gloves are off. There's no restrictions, no formula, and it can pretty much go any direction it wants. But I'm not gonna lie, I was just a little bit worried about the film, like some people were. There were completely different directors and people on the team for the next movie, and I was like, okay, I mean, it might be like a little bit different, but it's still Phil Lord and Chris Miller's project. I don't think it's gonna be that big of a deal. They announced there was gonna be this love triangle between like Gwen, Miles, and Spider-Punk, and I was like, okay, what the fuck? The clips I saw were pretty great for the most part, but there were a few jokes from Gwen about like Blue Panther, and there was like a Mario Kart reference. And I was like, hey, this is kind of cringe. These aren't really the witty, funny, well-timed jokes that were in the last movie. Why is this cringe? What's going on? Would these three things ruin the movie? No, in hindsight, they're not that much of a big deal. But the first movie was so polished and written to a T that it makes these smaller issues stick out much more. But then, the movie came out. I went day of release. I sat through the entire thing, and when that ending hit, I went to the bathroom because I was holding in my pee for the second half of the movie. But when I came back to my seat, I was like, damn, that's a good-ass movie. So without spoiling anything, Miles actually travels across the multiverse, like in the title, the Across the Spider-Verse, okay? And then eventually meets Miguel, who tells him about like constants in each universe and how a tragedy will inevitably happen, and that Miles will have to have his loved ones die in order to keep the multiverse intact. But Miles wants to save both the multiverse and his loved ones. And Miguel says, okay, they chase him the fuck down. Every Spider-Man is after him. And then much later, one of the biggest cliffhangers happens, and it ends. And then you're just like, damn, this is a good-ass movie. During this runtime, we get to see all these amazing versions of New York, each with their own style of animation and aesthetics. Yeah, we actually get to see different areas. It's not like this stupid movie where we see like 2 seconds of every dimension, and instead we land in this boring-ass dimension that's like slightly different from what we're used to. This movie actually takes advantage of being a multiverse movie. I don't know how the fuck they did it, but they somehow found a way to up the ante in animation. Not a scene is wasted in this movie. They're now experimenting with more mediums of animation. They have 3D, hand-drawn, fucking a paper mache Lego Spider-Man. They somehow incorporated real life into this shit. They got watercolor in New York. They combined Mumbai in India with Manhattan, New York, and made it green. They got neon colors. This movie has so much style and substance too, as they use the colors to create the tone it needs. There's one scene at the beginning of the movie where the background keeps changing to fit the tone of the scene while drawing full attention to the conflict between its characters. Even when characters are just talking, they're still doing other things simultaneously. It keeps the viewers engaged and keeps the animation feeling alive. Which is something I wish anime did more of, where it feels like a lot of the time characters will just be talking with nothing really interesting going on visually, and then later it'll be like, boom, here's the budget. I'm not saying American animation is perfect or anything, and this might be a bit of a hot take, but when the West gets it right, I do think they tend to play around with animation in a more visually interesting and stylish way, instead of just having all the cool shit go into an action scene or something. At least in shonen, I feel, but even then, there's always exceptions. I'm just gonna say it, I think Across the Spider-Verse is better than Into the Spider-Verse, at least for now. But the thing you have to remember is that Across the Spider-Verse, at the end of the day, is a setup movie for Part 2, Beyond the Spider-Verse. Meaning that technically the movie is incomplete and there's more left to tell with these characters that we're just being introduced to and characters that we just started to learn more about. Because of this and its cliffhanger ending, some people may feel like Into the Spider-Verse is a better overall movie, as you can watch it and be left with a satisfying experience. But to me, Across the Spider-Verse was the far more ambitious and creative film, both narratively and stylistically, which is why I liked it more. It could have gone the pussy route and wrapped everything in a nice cute little bow, but instead went for a dark second half, leaving its audience in shock by the end. If Beyond the Spider-Verse is as good, better, or maybe even slightly worse than its predecessors, then we very well may be getting not only one of the best film trilogies, but one of the best trilogies in media of all time. I'm grateful that this movie exists, and I am grateful to be a Spider-Man fan. Also, Marvel. Fuck Marvel, dude! Marvel fans are so fucking stupid, and I hate them so much. Another thing I love about Across the Spider-Verse is that they didn't give in to the MCU hype. I'm so happy that things like Andrew Garfield or Spectacular Spider-Man were just left as Easter eggs or little references that in no way distract from the main plot. I remember when this film was first announced, people were like, oh my god, is Tom Holland gonna be in it? Oh my god, the Spider-Man trio, are they gonna make another appearance? Spectacular Spider-Man's on the cover, is there gonna be a season 3? I remember someone in the comment section said that Tom's gonna be in the movie because they use his theme in the trailer, and then someone else replied saying that they wanted like Deadpool in the movie. Like, shut up! Shut the fuck up! Why can't you just let it be its own thing? The original Spider-Verse had nothing to do with the MCU. Why would they be an integral part of the movie? Why does everything have to be connected? Why does everything need a cinematic universe or some fucking cameo for the thing that people liked as a kid? I'm so happy that the Spider people they focused on were ones like Spider-Punk, Spider-Man India, Spider-Man 2099, you know, actual different universes, not just that one movie you liked as a kid so you can go yippee in the theater for like 5 seconds. I swear to God, MCU fans are like that one kid at the mall constantly begging their dad to buy shit for them while they're just running errands. I want this character. I want that character. I want Spider-Man. I want Spider-Man, and I want 2 Spider-Mans in the movie, and I want Optimus Prime to be the main villain. How about you shut the fuck up and watch the movie?
If I could begin to be half of what you think of me, I could do about anything. I could even learn how to love